Hello, everyone. So we are back with the next session on virtual team building in the virtual learning. So tell me one thing, did you enjoy this phase of virtual learning, or have you ever thought in your entire life that you are going to learn the things virtually? You will ever get a chance to go with the online studies, virtual learning, classes, examination, assignments, assessment, everything is going virtually. Have you ever thought about that thing? I never thought about that. And yes, to my surprise, I even didn't got the chance of going with the virtual learning, because when I was in my school days, when I was in my college days, we really used to wait to get some holidays, some days off. But now, believe me, seeing the situation, seeing the current situation, I really feel that it was good that we never went for the virtual learning. The virtual learning has its own benefits, but it has a lot of problems also. Sitting at home, studying, do you think you will really deliver the good results? I didn't feel that. Your growth is not just with the bookish knowledge which you are getting, but your growth is affected. Your growth happens when you meet with other people. If you are not meeting other persons, if you are just sitting at your home and if you are working, you are not developing your overall personality. You are not delivering the results. And believe me, that is why we say that it is very important to talk to people, to know the people, to understand the people, and to take some time to spend with those people. Until and unless you do not meet the people, until and unless you do not spend time with the people, you hardly get the benefit of what you are learning. Now, when I'm talking about the virtual ways of working, virtual learning, we all know that the organization have also shifted from normal work from office to shifted to work from home. Yes, it was due to the pandemic. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been any chance of shifting their office from online mode to from office place to the workplace. But now, in this last 1.5 year when we have been into the pandemic, we have realized that sitting at home and working no doubtedly gave good results, which the employees, which the organization didn't expect it, because that was the only reason due to which they never allowed permanent work from home or hybrid model in the organization. But that is for sure that if people are working from home, they are delivering the best results, they are delivering the good results. But along with that, we have faced that many things, many problems are arising. Many organizations just lost some of the very good and the very big project. What was the reason of losing that? The communication. In virtual ways of working, communication is the major challenge, the most important challenge which most of the organizations are facing. It may look funny to you if I say that at times people are not available in today's world when we have so many different ways of contacting the person. But believe me, that is actually true, that at times people are not available. It may be intentional, it may be unintentional, but yes, people are not available. At times we have some sudden important work and people is not available. People are working from different geographical location. There is time problem. People are working at different time zones. We do not have the team working all together. Let's say a person working right now, he needs some document, but he cannot get that document because in other country, the person sitting in other country, it's night for him. So this way, lot of things were affected, but yes, in the positive part, positive side, we have realized that yes, people do deliver best when they are working from home. So there are a lot of ways which we discussed in the last session. In the last session, we started discussing about the ways by which you can improve your virtual communication. So the first way which we discussed in the last session, I'm just quickly going to tell you the ways which we have discussed in the last session, and then we'll go to the next one. Manage people, not technology. So here you have to understand that the problem, most of the time we say that problem is because of the technology. No, problem is not because of the technology, it is because of the people only. So understand, you have to manage the people, not the technology. You have to work on managing the remote team of the people, not the technology, because technology causes to only 10% of the problem. Rest entire 90% of the problem is because of the people. Second point which we discussed was demonstrate cultural awareness for your team members. So we have diverse range of people working together that can impact your communication, because employees are from different backgrounds and they are motivated by different things. So change in incentives, communication style for each member can be one of the way to make them communicate effectively. So for this, it is advisable that you need to spend time to get to know your team member. Let's say you plan salary negotiation. Think about the benefits and the rewards most relevant to the individual. You cannot come up with a common thing of that, okay, let me come up with this specific thing. It is going to work for everyone. No. As for the individual, you will have to decide what are the benefits, what are the rewards you are going to offer, and what will actually work from them. Third point which we discussed was the give easy access to information to get work done. So, when we were working into the offices, it was very easy to communicate. As soon as we used to get any problem, we wanted to get answer to any of the question, we just used to approach that person directly. We used to get the answer immediately. The answer was available. But now when we are working virtually, asking about the updates, taking the updates, progress of the project, progress of the task done, how close we are to achieve our goals and objective, it is really very difficult. It is not that easy or simple as dropping your co-worker's desk. You do not have the employees next to you. You just have to either call them, you have to drop the email, you have to ping them, you have to use WhatsApp, you have to be dependent on the technology to get the answer to each and every single thing that you want. Either you have to go with the meetings. So that's why it is said that getting easy access to the information in the virtual world is not very easy. So establish a system to share information to prevent that from becoming a problem. So before it was a problem, before it becomes a great problem for the organization, that it loses the opportunity just because the proper communication system is not established, make sure you establish a proper channel by which you are going to communicate. You are going to share the information with each other. Establish file naming convention, especially for version control. So, whenever, let's say you have just made a storage location where everyone is supposed to update the work they have done. So make sure you are naming the file properly so that people can easily understand that which work is saved in which file. It will be easy for the people to locate those files and to put their respective work in the respective folders only. So store your file in folders organized by the department. So make sure your folders are also organized, proper name is given, it has been circulated or informed to all the people in the organization that this is how we are going to work, this is how we are going to track the progress of the work done. So on regular basis, make sure people are uploading the work done in the respected folders by renaming the files properly. Contributor, let's say, just for example, why we are asking to have a common place to share the things. Let's say a person based in New York, he just need a file created by the RENA office. But now at that place, at RENA office, people are sleeping. He cannot get the file and unnecessary his work get delayed. So to avoid those situations, you can use the file organization tools so that no matter at what time the other person is working, he will get the easy access to the information which he need to complete his task. Next point is schedule frequent teams check-in. We are working virtually, people are not in front of us, so you do not know at what time when they are doing what work. So it is advisable that you schedule regular check-ins, that every morning for 15-20 minutes at this point we are going to have a meeting, or along with that you can also say that every week we will be having the video call for an hour. Maybe you are just talking about something casual, or you're discussing about the project or the work which you are going to do the next week, but whatever it is, make sure schedule the check-ins with your team, talk for 15 minutes every morning and schedule a weekly video call for an hour. These are just the suggestion. If you think no, you need to schedule 2 check-ins, one in the morning, one in the evening. So in morning, you can plan what they are supposed to do. And if in evening, you can take the follow-up, what they have done. You can go for that, but have some plan. Make sure you are regularly getting in touch with your team members. The main purpose of scheduling the frequent check-in is to getting in touch with the team members. Plan virtual workshop before project deadline and a regular one-to-one with the person you are collaborating with can prevent poor communication from throwing you off course. So make sure you are just focusing on having the frequent check-ins so that you can know what your team is doing and what they have to do. Next point is be aware of time zone differences. See, you have to come up with such rules where you are not disturbing the other person at any point of time. We agree that people are working from home, but still they need their personal time. You cannot call them randomly at any point of time that it is 11 for them, and at that point of time, as you are working, you are just giving them call. No, that thing cannot be done. So how to get an urgent response from a team member when it's 11 p.m. in their country? How you're going to? You need to get the response because you're working and your work is dependent on that person's work. How you're going to get the response? So create a spreadsheet with your staff name, job title, and the time zone. By doing this, what will happen? People will not unnecessarily call any person of the business hours. So when you have the spreadsheet ready, people can just tell you, okay, this is the time. It's not the time to call this person because he is at a different time zone. It's night over there, so that you do not create unnecessary disturbance to a person's personal life. Link to a time zone calculator inside the sheet and share it with your entire organization. That way, remote team members can check whether their colleagues are working or asleep at any given time. So you could also find the sweet spot time. Now see, this sheet you have created. Now while creating the sheet, you have realized that there is no specific time. There is no sweet spot time where all the people of the team are working together. Now see, we are working in a team. Our work is somewhere related to each other. It is somewhere linked with each other. So it is very important that you just make sure that at some point of time, your entire team is working together, so that you can clarify the doubt, people can know each other, that who are the team members with whom we are working. So for that, just make sure you are setting a time, setting a specific time, at least 1 hour, or at least for 60 minutes or 2 hours, that your entire team is working together. Consider scheduling a daily stand-up meeting at that time to catch up. Now, when we have discussed about having a daily stand-up meeting, so it is very important that you just keep your meetings during that specific hours only, because having the meeting during those specific hours will let each and every employee in the organization, each and every person in the team know each other. Next point is, don't monitor activities, measure results. You are not here to monitor the activities, you are here to measure the results. So software companies have created an influx of cloud-based tools to monitor the activities. Shift your perspective to measure results, not intraday activities. You should not be worried about for how many hours the person was sitting on the desk. Instead, you should be worried about for how quickly the other person has delivered the results. For you, your focus should be on getting the results rather than the time they have spent on their desk. So make sure you are not every time monitoring them, rather you just have to measure the results which they have delivered. Check on for the results. If a remote employee meets deadline and produce super work, does it matter how long they spend at their desk? You just think you want an employee who's sitting for 10 hours on the desk and delivering zero result, or the employee who's just sitting for 5 hours on the desk and delivering 100% result? What kind of employee do we want in our organization? Obviously, we want the employees in the organization who are delivering the result irrespective of the time they have spent on the desk. So make sure, being a leader, you are not putting focus, emphasizing on the time spent in delivering, time spent on the desk. You just focus on the work done by them. So the next 8 point here is, trust your team to do good. If you found that employees spying tool intrusively, you are not the only one. Remote team monitoring apps show you have no trust in your organization. If you are using any kind of monitoring team by which you are keeping an eye on that person 24/7, you are always monitoring your employees, it will show that you do not trust your employees. You do not have faith on your employees, and it is going to create a negative image in the mind of your employees. These tools are not just not to monitor your employees every time, but yes, if you think that they are not delivering result and then you are monitoring, it is good. But if your employees are delivering timely results, they are delivering good results, then it is completely useless to monitor the activities of your employees. Trust is essential for remote team leaders to lead their team perform without their daily intervention. So you have to show trust on your team members if you want them to deliver the result, if you want them to work effectively and efficiently. The most important thing which you have to do is you have to make sure that your team is working properly and you are showing that trust, that faith on your team. That is the best way by which you can make your remote team work effectively and efficiently. Give them the freedom to work when they feel productive and don't assume they are always trying to vessel work. Let's say today people are saying that no, I do not want to work now, I'm not feeling like working. Allow them, give them the space. You just want the work, the task to be done before the deadline. That's all what you want. So if they want to work at some later hour, give them that freedom. Allow them to work when they feel more productive, when they are full of energy, when they think they can deliver the best results. Do not assume they are always trying to vessel off work. Do not assume that thing. Do not think that they are always finding the reason to avoid that work, because that is not true. At times there are situations that people do not want to work. It's okay. For you, what should matter is the productivity, not the amount of time they are spending. Next, set an example of proper business communication. So have an effective communication plan for each channel. Create that effective communication plan. Have that effective communication plan for each channel. A plan alone isn't enough. You need to set expectations also. So what's the expected decorum for a given channel? Does every member of the virtual team have to reply? So you have to tell them, let's say you have just dropped a message. The message is related to your production team and all the team members, all the team leaders are there. So make sure that you have made it clear that specific department is only going to reply. All the employees, all the team leaders in the group need not to respond for the things which are not related to their department. So make sure you set the clear expectation, you set the clear decorum, that what they have to do, how they have to do, and what is the default communication method which everyone is going to use. You cannot just expect everything that, okay, this will be done. This is how this was like for messages, it is clear we are going to use WhatsApp. No. When things are new to you, things are even new for the employees also. They have never been into a situation where they are working virtually. So you have to set the right expectation. You have to tell them what you expect from them, setting everything clear to each and every person. Find the answer to these questions within your communication plan, and an excellent place to start is encouraging staff to check their messages every half hour. So what you have to do is you have to encourage your staff to check the messages every half hour. You have to make sure that when people are working virtually, they should regularly check their emails, the platform which you are using for messaging, they should regularly check that so that they can revert back immediately. The last step is document and clarifying tasks and processes. One of the hardest thing about working remotely is asking for help on how to do something. Can we ask for help so easily when we are working remotely? No. It is really very difficult to ask for help when we are working virtually. So this is one of the hardest thing. This is one of the biggest challenge which you will be facing when you will be working virtually, when you are working virtually, as maybe most of you might have started working virtually. So yes, This is the biggest challenge which people are facing when they are working virtually. So to avoid this, solve this problem by over clarifying everyday tasks and processes. We are regularly having the meeting, which we discussed that regular meeting is very important. So when we are regularly having the meeting, what you have to do is you have to solve this problem by over clarifying everyday tasks and processes. Just try to clarify that thing once, twice, thrice. Clarifying that thing will make it easy for the people to understand what task and process they have to follow and what task they have to do. At times there are situations where we just assume, let's say we have a person who is having 7 years of experience. We simply assume that when he's having 7 years of experience, he'll be knowing what to do and how to do for this project. But that is not true. Each organization, every organization have different ways of working. So in that situation, you just make sure that you clarify the things properly and clearly to each of the employees related to the task and the process they have to follow. Because once they will have the clarity, then that is the only time when they can start doing it properly. Because they do not have anyone with whom immediately they can call. And calling again and again for every small thing is not a good idea. That's why you should explain each and everything very properly, and then if any doubt come, they are free to contact the person. Recording your screen to create video tutorials with tools like Loom or Soapbox. So again, this can be one of the ways that when you are explaining the people about the task they have to do, you can simply use the screen recorder. You can go with the recording options. You can save the recording at one place so that in case of confusion, if person wants to know that what is to be done, how it is to be done, if they forget any point, they can simply refer to that recording to get the work done. This is again one of the best way and the best use of technology which you can use for the smooth working of the organization virtually. Writing your process in a standard operating procedure document, that is SOP, standard operating procedure document. You can just write your entire document in that document too. Creating templates in your project management tools to duplicate when starting a new task. So these are some of the techniques, some of the ways which you can use. The ways which you can use for improving the virtual communication, because communication is the only thing by which you can make your team work and make your team reach towards your goal. So these are the ways. Implement these ways, adopt these ways for the smooth working of the organization and for communicating within the organization virtually. Now, what are the ways to transform your virtual meeting? If you want to transform your virtual meeting, how we are going to do that? So first is set a clear agenda. One-page document having bullet pointed list of what you will talk about at the conference. Calling the meeting is very easy, but to be on the meeting is really a challenging thing. People do call out for the meeting, but meeting starts and they do not have the blueprint of what they are going to speak. They do not know why they have called the meeting. So when you are calling the meeting, make sure you set the clear agenda. You have that document along with the bullet pointed list of what you are going to talk at the conference, what you are going to discuss in the conference. Anything not included won't get covered. So whatever thing you have written in that document will only be discussed in this meeting. But if you have you want to discuss something else, it is not written in that document, you are not going to cover that thing. have an agenda for any kind of virtual meeting that you are holding. So whichever virtual meeting you are holding, whatever virtual meeting you are holding, make sure you are having the clear set agenda for that thing. A meeting without agenda will not give the discussion a specific direction. You know, if you want to get, if you want the discussion to go with the specific direction, if you want your discussion to move in the right direction, if you want your meeting to end by some kind of conclusion, having some results in hand, then it is better to make the people ready about what we are going to discuss in the meeting and what are the points of discussion. If anyone wants to discuss about something else, they can approach you to add that point in the agenda. You know, why do we create agenda for the meeting? The reason for creating agenda is to know how much time will it take, on what points we will be discussing, and along with that, people will come prepared about those points. Let's say you are here to discuss about the new marketing opportunities which are there in the market. You have not told that thing, and you have suddenly called the meeting. You are aware in your mind that you will be discussing about that. You have called out the meeting. You have told the people, okay, what do you think, what are the marketing opportunities available in the market, how we are going to market the product? People will be, please give us some time to think on that. Why this happened? Because they were unaware, like why the meeting is being called. We called the meeting, the manager called the meeting, and we just came to attend the meeting. Just think, instead of doing this thing and again scheduling the meeting for the same thing again, don't you think if you would have circulated the agenda along with the meeting time, date, venue, that these are the points we are going to discuss in the meeting, don't you think it would have been really good? Yes. Now, when you have circulated the agenda where you have clearly mentioned that we will be discussing about the marketing opportunities and the things which are and the new marketing techniques which are being used to market the product, people will be ready with their plan of action. They'll be ready with the suggestions. Okay, run, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. So now the discussion is going somewhere. At the end of the discussion, at least you will have multiple plans. For that, now people can start working on evaluating the pros and cons of each of the plan, the success, the risk involved in each of the plan, and in the next meeting you can just finalize the thing. But if you do not circulate the agenda along with the meeting timing and the venue, next time when you will enter the meeting, you will again do the same thing. So the thing which could have been done in just 1 or 2 meetings will be stretched to 3 meetings. So that is why it is said that just set the clear agenda of what you want to discuss, what you are going to discuss in the meeting, and make sure that every person in the team is aware about that discussion. Why? Why? Because it limits the discussion from veering off track. Now, when you will know the points of the discussion, any random discussion cannot enter into the meeting, because you have the clarity what is to be discussed, how it is to be discussed. If a topic merits further discussion, set up an additional meeting. That's what I said. Now we have got all the points, and if you think that further time is required to evaluate the point and to take the decision, you can set another meeting. So unnecessary coming together, then telling the agenda, then telling the point of discussion, then scheduling the meeting for the ideas, and then scheduling the another meeting for anything which was left in previous meeting. So ultimately 3 times you are calling the team for the same purpose, which could have been done in just 1 or 2 meetings. So to avoid unnecessary discussions in the meeting, to keep the people on track, it is important that along with the meeting time, you always set the clear agenda, a 1-point document highlighting the points which you will be discussing in the meeting and circulating the people the same thing. It is just as simple as two friends are talking with each other and they just call, oh, come to my place today, I have something, I have to discuss something. Okay, now what the other person wanted to discuss, he just wanted to discuss about a plan or outing plan. He just called the person, he told them, oh, come on, let's go for outing today, let's have dinner outside. The person will say, I'm not ready, I have some other plans. So don't you think you have simply wasted your and his time by just calling him unnecessary for something which was not required, right? So in that case, if you would have told him that, okay, I'm planning to go for the trip, he would have told you no, or he would have come prepared for that thing. Okay, not today, let's plan it for some other day. He would have checked his schedule. So this is how, if you meet with the people for deciding anything without a clear agenda, and not just having the agenda to yourself, you need to communicate that agenda to other person. If you do not communicate that agenda, if you do not let the other person know the reason for conducting the meeting, your entire meeting, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes is a complete waste. At the end of the meeting, you won't come out getting any valuable results or decision in your hand. There are almost 7 more steps which we will be discussing in the next session. We have come to the end of the today's session of virtual team building and management. So the first thing which we have discussed to transform your meeting is to set the clear agenda. Same way, we will be discussing about 7 more points, how to transform your virtual team, how to save the time, how to get the results from those virtual meetings. Okay, that's all for today's session. In case if you have any doubt related to whatever we have discussed, you can get back to me in the next session. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.